All right, Shalom. Before I start, I give all praises to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rachakarash. The honors to the apostles, and those great millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all those Akim, Walk, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. I just got another quick video. All right, this one, through the spirit, the elder Malcolm from the Great Millstone Chicago camp, he had did something about the Maccabees. He had read chapter 3. And I had just started rereading the Maccabees literally like 2 days before he had did that video, and I had just read that chapter that he had read. So this video, is going to be kind of similar. And as its title, Israelites are born with combat prowess. Prowess, which actually, let me get the meaning of the word. All right, this, look, when Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai brings back his spirit upon his elect men, all right, we're going to stand up and be warriors for our nation. We're going to stand up and through the spirit, all right, bring this place down. It says the saints shall take the kingdom. All right, it's not going to be a nice, simple takeover. All right, now let me switch this over. All right. And then I'm going to have this video playing in the background as I'm reading these several different scriptures. But it says prowess. It says skill or expertise in a particular activity or field. And when you look at the average Negro, Latino, Native American, that holds true. All right, and I'm gonna just let this video play. Hannibal Barca, in which we know this was an Israelite man who name, if I remember pronounced correctly in the Hebrew, Hanan Baal, or no, Hanan Baal Barak. All right, if I remember, because Hannibal Barca, that's Hebrew. Hanan Baal and Barca Barak, right? Which I forget what the Hanan Baal means, but Barak, bless. But I'm gonna just let this play. But let me hit the volume. All right, when you look at dealing with the average Israelite, even a untrained Israelite versus an untrained heathen, you put them head to head in a fight, more than likely that Israelite is going to win. You take Day off the street and put him up against Wilson, the Edomite who worked his 9 to 5. Day gonna bust his head like a grape. You put Chavez against Khalid, all right, that work at 7-Eleven. Chavez gonna bust Khalid's head. All right, you put John Red Spear Flying Eagle up against I'm trying to think of another heathen. Put him up against what's a Hamite name? Makumbu. You put him up against Makumbu. Makumbu gonna get his head bust like a grape. Let me get this first before I get these examples. So I'm gonna try to make this. I'm trying to make this video not that long. Shit, I'm gonna have to watch this after I just typed in Black Warriors and this came up. I'm gonna watch this after I get done doing this video. This looks good. Battles BC, Hannibal the Annihilator. All right, but you wanna know why our people are blessed with such a gift? All right, when our God is dealing with us, you cannot stop us. All right, and you want to know why? Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. The Lord is a man of war. The Lord is his name. Our power enjoys witnessing war. All right, that's why he puts it in our spirit to enjoy witnessing war. And you have many. That's why the Israelite man is in most cases we have high testosterone, or aggressive, or should I say assertive. All right, when it comes to dealing with other people, and especially dealing with women. That's why women love Israelite men, because we gonna go to war on their body. All right, that's why people are scared of Israelite men, because we gonna go to war actually beating them up. All right, but let me get this first scripture. This is First Maccabees chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 1. I'm gonna be jumping around. It says, then his son Judas, called Maccabeus, rose up in his stead, and all his brethren helped him, and so did all they that held with his father, and they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. So he got his people great honor, and put on a breastplate as a giant, and girt his warlike harness upon him, and he made battles, protecting the host with his sword. In his acts he was like a lion, and like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey. So he was compared to being a giant when he put on his armor. He was a great, noble, and mighty man. All right, it says he was like a lion roaring for his prey, which was these heathens and the wicked traitors of our people. All right, when our power gives us, when Yahweh Bashem Shai empowers his elect and his 1/3, or mainly should I say his elect, we're going to be like, we're going to be, it's Lord willing, I'd be a part of. The elect is going to be 144,000 one-man army killing machines. One angel can wipe the whole world. One of the elect can wipe the whole world. What do you think? 140? That's why it's going to be. Hey man, Esau, you're not going to stand a chance. All right. Verse 5, First Maccabees 3:5 says, "For he pursued the wicked and sought them out and burnt up those that vex his people. Wherefore the wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity were troubled, because salvation prospered in his hand. He grieved also many kings, and made Jacob glad with his acts, and his memorial is blessed forever." And I just got a couple more Maccabees, but it says the heathen shrunk for him. That's the type of fear that the Israelites strike into these heathens. That's why Esau, the so-called white man, creates guns, like you see right here. If you can see my mouse with that picture, I believe that was Dirty Harry, Clint Eastwood in that Dirty Harry movie. That's why Esau creates guns, because they can't rock with us. That's why Esau created condoms, because they don't want us impregnating every female that walks, because our genes are dominant: Israelite, Negro, Latino, and Native American genes. All right. That's why they create. They poison the food, poison the water. They do everything they can to weaken us, because undisputedly we are the strongest, the smartest, the fastest, the most intelligent. All right, the most handsome. Our women are the most beautiful, with the best banging bodies on planet Earth when they're in their right mind. All right, you're not gonna find a more faithful woman than an Israelite woman that will rock out with you when she's in her right mind, of course. All right. We are the best on this planet, and we wage war like no other thing, created can wage war. All right, and I'm gonna get a couple more examples. This is probably the dude behind him. I'm gonna have to listen to it, but that's probably his brother, because Hannibal Barca also had a brother. Him and his brothers, or him, and I think he had multiple brothers, but I know his main brother. They was getting down in the battlefield. All right, just like how we're known to do. First Maccabees 3:18. No. First Maccabees 3:25. It says, "Then began the fear of Judas and his brethren, and an exceeding great dread to fall upon the nations round about them, and so much as his fame came unto the king, and all nations talked of the battles of Judas." So the whole world had their eye on Judas, because he was out whooping ass, just the same way that Joshua was out whooping ass, the same way that King David was whooping ass. Even King Saul was getting it in before he became wicked. All right. Even even Samuel put the beats. Even Samuel put the beats on you devils, you Edomites. All right. Who else? I'm looking at my tabs. I'm trying to remember. We're gonna get into some of the acts of the 30 mighty men under King David's rule. All right. When Yahweh Bashem Shai has the Spirit upon us and is dealing with us in righteousness, when we're serving Him, you can't defeat us. And this is the way that we're about to come back into, the manner. We're about to go back to this state of this prowess. All right. And for brothers, that's in the arts, the martial arts. You look around when you go train, hey, look, hey, no one does it like how Jake can do it. People, they can't move like us. They can't get down like us. These heathens are just perplexed. The best fighters and competitors in the world right now are all Israelites. Light heavyweight, John Jones; heavyweight, Daniel Cormier; middleweight, Israel Adesanya; Anderson Silva. These are all UFC mixed martial arts fighters. All right, Demetrius Johnson. Man, when we do everything the best. All right, now let me jump down to this. First Maccabees. This is chapter 5, verse 54. Says, "So they went up to Mount Zion with joy and gladness, where they offered burnt offerings, because not one of them were slain, until they had returned in peace. And this was talking about one of the wars, one of the campaigns, military campaigns, when Judas had went out to battle. He went and slayed thousands of heathens, and they didn't even lose a single man in their army. Do you know how great of warriors you have to be? And they were always outnumbered. That's why he said previously in one verse, it's nothing for the Most High to shut up a multitude in a small hand. All right, roughly paraphrasing. Do you know how many people do you know today? Let's say you got 10 men can go fight 500 men, and them 10 men don't even so much as get punched. That's basically what they went up against: war, shields, swords, bows, arrows, animals, horses, traps. Didn't lose a single man for quite some time in many of those battles. That's the ability that we carry as Israelite men when the Lord is dealing with us. We are warriors in the spirit. That's why Jake is so easy to go off the handle and get to scrapping. That's what we know. All right. And when the Lord restores us, instead of us directing that at ourselves, we're going to be directing that at these heathens, at these devils, at all those that oppressed us. So now we're just going to get a couple more. I just want to get some of the acts of the 30 mighty men, one in particular, one in which I like. Man, when the Lord is dealing with us for something else, and you'll see glimpses of it. Glimpses of it is the people, look at someone like Usain Bolt. That's glimpses. That's little images, flashes into the past, how we would run. Him being the fastest man in the world, man, one of the average Israelite back then would have left Usain Bolt in the dust. Would have had Usain Bolt gasping for air. King David would have had Usain Bolt. Would have had him miles behind. All right, you see people like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson would have got his head lopped off by an Israelite back then. These mighty warriors of our nation that we have today, people like, they call him King James, James LeBron. I mean, it's LeBron James, all right? Michael Jordan, leaping all in the air, breaking people's ankles. The greatest of us today, because the scriptures tell you we're not of the same stature as back then. In Second Esdras, the mighty of us today would have been just a normal Israelite back then. All right, we're gonna be restored to our full power. All right, very very soon. All right, so let me get let me get this. I'm gonna bring it to a close. This is This is 2 Samuel 23, and let's see where I'm going to start. It really starts with verse 8. Come on, just read that verse 8. It says, "These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tachmonite that sat in the seat, chief among captains, the same was Edeno the Ezonite. He lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time." This man slew 800 men on his own. Let me knock this back. Let me take it back so we can get all the war clips. The Israelite man took a spear and slew 800 men on their own. How many people could go up against 800? Now, I'm not just talking about a fight. I'm not talking about, oh, okay, you beat me up, so we start the battle to the death until your soul, to somebody's soul, leaves their body. How many people doing things like that? Jake, and you see glimpses of it. You'll see Jake, like when you had that one Jake who was fighting like 13 cops on his own. He held back like 5 for a minute, and then the rest of the cops finally showed up, and that's what it took to overwhelm him. But he was big old tall Jake, fighting off like 5 cops, pushing them around, throwing them. Only our people. All right. Verse 9, "And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Ahohite, one of the 3 mighty men with David." So this is one of David's top dogs. All right, it says, "When they defied the Philistines that were there gathered to battle, and the men of Israel were gone away, he arose and smote the Philistines until his hand was weary, and his hand clave unto the sword, and the Lord wrought a great victory that day, and the people returned after him only to spoil. So this man went and got to slaying, all right, got to killing and grilling. Verse 11, and after him was Shema, the son of Agi, the Hararite, and the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. So once again, another man, the Most High put his spirit on, and he stood his ground against the heathen army, and got to kill it, all right, and made them flee. When everybody else was running from these heathens, he stood his ground and held it down in the name of the Most High Yahweh, because that's what they had back then. And today it'll be in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. All right, that's why we can't fear. We know how we have to be in this society. You know, we know the role that we have to play. But don't be scared of these. Don't be scared of none of these people, man. Don't be scared of these heathens. All right, they might be taller than you, they might be stronger than you, but when that Lord puts a spirit on us, that's gonna go away. All right. You have a Jake that's 5'11". Oh, no, a Jake that could be 5'1" could drop a dang big old Edomite that's 6'3", steroided up, bench pressing 500, run up on him and put a haymaker on him. Even Jake that doesn't have any technical fighting skills, any proper boxing or kickboxing or jiu-jitsu or wrestling, just an average street hoodlum Jake slinging wild and reckless, wreck one of these heathens. Verse 13, and 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David in the harvest time in the cave of Adullam, and the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in Hol, and the garrison of the Philistines was then in Bethlehem. So this is still in 2 Samuel 23. And I'm going to jump down after this because there's a certain one that I want. It says, and David longed and said, oh, that one would give me drink of the water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate. And the 3 men break through the host of the Philistines and drew out water of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof, and poured it out to the Lord. So David, he made the challenge. Oh, someone would go to that well that's occupied by enemies and bring me back some water. So not only were they skilled enough to go into the midst of the enemy, kill them, but they had to take the time to draw the water, keep the enemies at bay, take the water out, and bring back the water without spilling all the water out, while simultaneously fighting off all the heathens. That's prowess. What was the word prowess again? Let's look. Skill or expertise in a particular activity or field. Expertise, effectiveness, mastery, ability, capability, capacity, talent, genius, adroitness, adeptness, aptitude, dexterity, competence, professionalism, excellence, accomplishment. Those are things that it takes to be able to do something like that. You killing fools while holding a bucket of water, don't even drop the water out, because there had to be a decent enough amount left for them to bring back for David, for him to pour out in the first place. All right, so now I'm gonna jump down to the main one that I want, because out of here, this is the one that always sticks out to me. This always sticks out to me. Let's see. Khan, yep, Khan. First, 2 Samuel 23, jump down to verse 20, says, and Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, the son of a valiant man of Kabzeel, who had done many acts, he slew lion-like men of Moab. So he took on 2 so-called Gooks, Chinese, all right, really Moabites, who were mighty, who were strong, probably, were of decent size, were champions of their land, known for putting up a good fight. It says he slew 2 lion-like men of Moab. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in the time of snow. So he went and killed the lion in the middle of winter. So it was probably unsure footing, cold weather, snow hitting his face, and he went up against the lion and came out with his life and presented that lion with death. All right, verse 21, and he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man, and the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with a staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. These things did Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada, and had the name among the three mighty men. So out of King David's 3 men behind him, because he had 30, but he had his 3 main men, he was the top. All right. But it said, with the main point I wanted to get on, it says, and he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man, and the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with the staff and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand and slew him with his own spear. So he went up against a man with a combat specifically designed weapon. All right. Was able to get his weapon out of his hand and killed him with his own weapon. All right. Imagine somebody with a broom runs up on someone with a shotgun, dodging shotgun shells, gets close enough, knocks the shotgun out of their hand with the broom, catches the shotgun out of midair, turns and blows the dude away. You would be in awe and amazement. And that's basically how he did it. Prowess. He ran up on an Egyptian, and the Egyptians were known for being in great stature and in height. Took his own spear out of his hand and killed him. And all he had was a staff. All right. So that was really it for this video. Hey, you can't mess with the nation of Israel. None of you heathens. You can't mess with us. The only reason right now we're in this state is because we sinned against our power. And when these tables are turned around, we're going to remind this world of why everyone hates us, why everyone fears us, of why everyone tells their daughters not to come home with a Negro, not to come home with a Mexican, not to come home with no drunk Native American somewhere. We're going to remind you people why you love putting us on your football teams, on your basketball teams. All right. So, hey, when Yahweh Shem Shai puts his power on the elect, we're going to, Lord willing, this place is going to get, you heathens, you're not going to stand a chance. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai, B'Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, God's great millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all like Akim, walk with them in teaching in truth and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say shalom.